Hello, everyone. Um, this is the Q&A video that I said that I would have recorded once I would have collected enough questions. And first of all, I want to thank you, everyone, once again for being with me and for enjoying my music and just sticking around. That is a very important thing and really motivates me to keep going. I received pretty much around 12 or 13 questions, and I think it will take some time to answer. So I think I'm gonna split this video in as many parts will be needed. So let's start with the questions. Mark Dickinson asks, hello Mark, where is your writing process? Do you start with a theme and then write the music, or do you start with the music, or does the weather, atmosphere, setting influence the piece? Okay, I have no standard way to write my music. I think that the most standard way for me to start a song is with the piano intro that then becomes something that goes under the whole song. So I think that the first thing that comes to mind is the piano lines that you can hear in most of my songs in the very beginning. Once I have written those lines, I start to imagine what kind of music can follow this piano line, and I concentrate on the bigger strings part, like some kind of chorus. My music really has no standard structure like ABA or other kind of structure that most of the pop songs use, but I always try to reach for a climax in my songs, and I think that's the thing that I try to imagine after the first piano line. Then I try to compose the best music that can lead me through the beginning towards the climax, and that is often very often consists of a solo string instrument or another piano line that goes on the previous one. And then after composing after reaching for the climax, I start to think some way I think it's called a bridge, some way to lead to a second part of the song, to create some variety. And then it depends, this writing part depends by how long I want the song to be. If it will be 5, 6, or 7 minutes long song, it must be a very strong bridge that can lead to the second part, that must sound almost like another song that will be attached to the first part. So in this case, it will take a longer time. Does the weather, atmosphere, setting influence the piece? Yes, it it very often does, but not necessarily. The real weather, or not necessarily the real atmosphere around me. Mark, I often compose the music without being influenced from the outside, but I try to pull out from the inside. I think it is one of the thing that mm, I don't know how to say this in English, characterizes, maybe it's the right term, my music the most. I feel that I'm not really influenced by the outside. It is pretty much the inside that creates the atmosphere, the weather, if you want to intend the rain like an emotional state. And this way, yes, this thing will influence the music. mm, of course, if I am inside of my house and I hear the raining that starts coming down, probably 70 to 80% I will run at my piano and start writing something. Okay, second question. Fenia Crystal, I hope I am pronouncing it well, says, when did you start composing and what was the first instrument you played? I actually did not start composing as a first thing. I started playing guitar uh, around uh, 15, no, 16 or 15, I don't remember actually. And I played guitar for one, no, actually for a few months before I started to try to writing my own melodies without calling it composing. I just tried to make little melodies, and I had a band at the time, and that was my first approach to composing music. I did not know anything about harmony or counterpoint or whatever. I just made songs with my friends, and it was pretty funny. But soon I understood that the band thing was not my way. Um, and I think it was around 18 that I um, started to write my own songs, influenced by um, some songs I had found on YouTube. And once I understood that there were people out there that used the computer to uh, play their music with a whole orchestra, I instantly felt that a whole world was opening to me, and that was the real moment when I started making songs. Um, I don't really want to tell the whole story because I think that there are later questions that ask specifically for that. Okay, third question. Boonstonius, I think this is a nickname, I'm not sure, sorry. I'd be interested to know how you compose your music, how long it takes, and also what motivates you. Um, I compose my music at the piano. Um, yeah, the majority of my songs um, is um, is born at the piano. Um, I, as I was saying before, I just write a line that resounds to me, if this is a word in English, um, and thereon I start to use to this little theme to compose a whole song. So I would say that the most important thing is the initial piano line. How long it takes? It takes very different amount of times. I remember when I composed the Fiat Lux, not the whole album, just the song named Fiat Lux. It took me, I guess, 3 hours or 4 hours, because it is a pretty small piece, a pretty standard piece in structure. Uh, it is a structure that I very well know because it's my standard way to compose Gothic music, and so it was pretty clear to me what to do. And yes, it took me 3 or 4 hours at most. And I remember other songs, for example, Luciat Lux Vestra, which took me several days because it is a pretty complex piece, and I guess few days or even a week, not constantly composing the song. I was skipping around different songs, but yes, it took me that time. If I work to just to a song, um, it won't take me that much, because I'm not the type of perfectionist who try to make the best every song. I'm not even the kind that goes back to his own work to refine it. I just make a song, and I will give me some time to correct some mistakes here and there, but I won't lose too much time just to make the best I can out of that song. It just is not the way I enjoy working on music. What motivates you? Many things. I feel at the core of the thing, I feel that music is one of the ways that God, whatever you want to mean with God, gave me to explore myself, to reach the inner core of myself, to reach for my soul. Just to quote a song of mine. And this anger, this sort of anger for my true self, is what motivates me the most. Then there are other things, like people around me, nature, philosophy, psychology, and many other. But I think that all of these things are just an addition to reaching for myself. Kisaten, I guess, which who I know and I cheer, asks, what ad you start composing? I don't really know what had me start composing. I just enjoyed the idea of making songs, and I went to a conservatory, so there I was really surrounded by the figure of legendary composers, and I really started interesting in those figures. And yes, I guess the admiration for those people was one of the greatest thing, knowing that people could express so much good to in their music is something that wanted me to start composing. And if you hear sheeps or something like that, it is because I'm a mountain and I just cannot control them. um, yes, the need to express myself, and understanding how well those people did that was one of the things that had me start composing. Not Jeffrey Epstein. Hello, Michael. Asks, I'd like to know your favorite homemade Italian dish, from a soup, stew, pasta, salad, anything that is your favorite. Mm, this could probably be one of the most difficult questions, because I don't really have a favorite dish, but I guess that very plain, simple pasta with tomato sauce is what I enjoy the most from Italian culture. Then there are lots of other things, like many Tuscanian foods, or the classic pizza. A well-made pizza, because I have eaten lots of pizza that are not exactly how we made it. We make pizza here in Italy. Yes, I know my answer is not really satisfying, but I will try to think about it better and maybe write it down in the comments. Sorry. Karim asks, do you believe? Um, yes, I do believe. I don't believe in anything institutionalized. I believe in the fact that all the things are one, and one they must come back. So this is what I believe, and this is my idea of God. The one that surrounds us is my idea of God, and it would be much, much, much more complex to explain, but I don't think this is the right place to do that. So yes, I do believe in the one. Mohammed Abdelrahman, I'm sorry, asks, how did you learn music composition? I learned music composition in conservatory. So I attended a classical music school where I learned the classical rules to compose music. I don't use those rules anymore. Pretty much not one of my most recent pieces use those rules, because I don't think they fit my style, and I am not interested in that. I use okay, I don't know if it's time to stop the video, but I will. I think I will. We'll see. Okay, just a moment so you can see the sheep around me, and then I will stop the video. Yeah. No, I guess they are not coming this way. Anyway, I don't use those rules anymore. I compose other kinds of music beside those I upload here on YouTube. I write many symphonies with a much stricter rules, and yes, I think those are more similar to those things I learned in conservatory. But yes, this was the way I learned to compose music, and actually I forgot almost anything after learning it, because I think that instead of helping me to compose music and express myself, it was some way hindering, because being forced to make things in a certain way is not exactly the most pleaseful thing to do when you are just trying to make songs, nothing more or nothing less. And yes, that was it. Christoph Schumacher. Oh, I said it well. Why did you become a composer? I think I already answered in the previous question. Um, I became a composer because I felt the urge to express myself creatively, and I just enjoyed the fact of working with sounds and pitches. Pitches meaning not the fruit, but meaning the aid of a sound instead of just playing with the synthesizers or other kinds of instruments. Okay, I'll stop the video. See you in a minute.